Hello, everybody. Welcome to Enjoy English. This is Shane.
And I'm Betty.
And today we are looking at a very interesting article about rugs.
Right.
Yeah, so it's called Finding Comfort in Tufted Rugs.
Tufted rugs. I've never heard of it until probably today. So, yeah, actually, yeah.
I've heard of it, but I wasn't quite sure what exactly a tufted rug is. But it says here, tufted rugs are the hottest trend in home decoration.
Right. So right now, there are all the things probably on the internet. I guess people put them on the internet.
Yeah. I heard that it's gotten more and more popular over these last several years. And It's supposed to be pretty easy to do. To make one of these rugs?
Let's hope so.
Let's hope so. We don't have to make them. Don't worry.
But I know that there are several shops in Taiwan teaching people how to do these.
Oh, really?
Oh, right. You can do it yourself. You can customize the patterns.
Ooh.
Right. So I guess they're helping people to find comfort, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
right. Ooh, okay. So, of course, I guess, that could be maybe emotional comfort because you're doing something like a hobby and you're creating something. But then, of course, you get to step on these very comfortable rugs.
Right. And comfort, this word, is usually referring to a pleasant feeling, something that makes you feel relaxed, something that makes you feel happy, away from pain. So when you find comfort in something, that means when you do something, you feel good. Some people might find comfort in reading. Yeah.
I find comfort in laying on a nice carpet.
I guess most people...
Playing with my cats.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, that sounds fun.
Okay, so why don't we get into today's lesson? Okay, so starting here, we have, are you looking for a creative hobby to pass the time?
Are you? Do you have any hobby?
I pretty much just exercise as a hobby. So I like swimming. I like riding bikes, but I don't have like a craft hobby or something that I really do. I do a little bit of cooking, but I don't know if it's like necessarily a hobby. I just need to eat.
I also admire people who have like craft hobbies because I feel that they can find like emotional release somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's really good for your relaxation. It's good for your mind.
Right.
Yeah, and a lot of times it keeps your hands busy and you're just doing stuff and being occupied. It's better than sitting around just thinking about nothing.
Right. And
watching TV.
Yeah. Because it helps your brain kind of function a little bit. Yeah, without stressing you out. Yeah. And usually we have a hobby to pass the time. Right. Shane, what does that mean? Pass the time.
Yeah, so just to pass the time just means to do something for a period of time. It's just kind of like another way of saying, if you ask somebody, what do you do to pass the time? You're basically asking them, what do you do for enjoyment, or what do you do? Maybe you have to work. It's just, passing time.
Right. Get through with a day.
Right.
Yeah. And you can also say kill time, can we? Yeah.
Yeah. But I think kill time has kind of this feeling like you just want to get the time over with. Like you hurry up and I need to kill time. It's because that time, if you can't find something to do, it'll be very boring.
So it has some sort of like a negative connotation, I guess?
Yeah, a bit of a negative connotation.
Oh, you have too much of it.
Right. Okay, so continuing. If so, you may want to check out Tufted rugs. These rugs are made by punching yarn through a piece of heavy cloth with a tufting gun.
Right. It's a tufting gun, right? Because it helps you like tough things together.
Yeah.
I think we have many difficult vocab words in here. Let's go through them one by one. I think most of them would appear very abstract to a lot of Taiwanese learners, I believe. Okay. So let's start with punch.
Yeah. Well, when we normally think of punching, we think of punching somebody.
In the face? It
doesn't have to be in the face. My goodness. So aggressive. But it's kind of you using your fist and you hit something, right? It means to punch. But this could also have a meaning of punching through something with some type of an object.
Right.
To kind of get through a surface with usually some relatively sharp object that can get through something. And we call that to punch through something.
Make a hole in something?
Exactly, right.
And what about yarn? And what about cloth?
Well, yarn is a type of material that's used for making things like blankets and rugs. And, you can make a nice little winter hat, some gloves. Yeah, it's a material for making clothing and things of that nature.
Yeah, and the tufting gun, I bet this is new. Yeah. We know a gun, but not a tufting gun.
So I guess, we have, tufted rugs. And so we know that here we are trying to make a tuft, and we will call that tufting. And it's going to create this pattern that you're going to be using in the rug. And the gun kind of punches the yarn through and makes a tuft. Right.
And usually when we talk about tuft, we are talking about, if you use it as a verb, we're talking about pulling things together. You can tuft your hair, or sometimes if you use it as a noun, it means things that, you have a bunch of something. A tuft of grass.
Well, I'll tell you right now, I have never used the word tuft.
This is a difficult word. Yeah.
I've never used it, so don't worry too much about using this in general daily conversation.
Right. Not really in daily conversation. More of like a new, it's a new concept, I guess, for me as well.
Yeah, right. So, it's become popular just because of tufted rugs. Okay, so almost anyone can learn how to create different designs and patterns. Okay, so it's easy for people to learn how to do. I'm guessing young and old alike.
Yeah, based on the text.
But based on the text, it does say almost anyone. So that includes children and, anyone.
Yeah.
So, okay, why don't we take a little break and we'll come back in a moment. Okay, so coming back here to our tufted rugs. Do you have a rug in your home?
I bet yes.
You bet? Yes? You don't know?
I think so. Like in front of the bathroom, we have a rug. Rug is a little bit different from carpet, right? It's like smaller pieces.
Right. Typically a carpet, we're talking about something quite big, and at least in the U.S., we mean carpeting, which goes from wall to wall, and it will cover a whole room as opposed to just a space in a room, a small space. So that's usually the difference between a rug and carpet or carpeting.
Yeah, so it's not new. It says here, they have been here for a long time.
Right. So, tufted rugs have been around for a long time, but interest in them shot up during the COVID-19 pandemic.
If something shots up, that means it's growing quickly.
Right.
So shot up, I guess it's understandable, like during that time. Yeah, people need to find something and they're at home.
People were bored out of their minds during COVID. You having to stay home, and particularly if you actually got COVID, you have to quarantine yourself, or if someone nearby you was ill, then you had to quarantine yourself. So what are you going to do?
Right.
You need to find a hobby. And shoot up could also here just mean like increase. Right? Another word for shoot up. Okay, and continuing, as people were stuck inside during that time, some started to learn tufting as a hobby.
Here, as means because, right? Because we could only stay indoors during that time. Yeah, and start to like pick up this hobby. We also say pick up a hobby, right? Learn a hobby.
Yeah, right, exactly. So to pick it up means to learn it.
Oh, right.
Okay. It was a useful way to help people relax and express their creativity.
Yeah. So I think so with many like craft hobbies, they're all like ways for people to express creativities. I bet singing and dancing, those things would also help people to express creativity, but especially with like craft hobbies, right?
Well, the relaxation part, I think, is a little bit different than like dancing or something.
Right,
because, well, although, that can kind of relax your body and mind when you do anything that you enjoy doing. But typically, if you're going to be tufting, you're probably going to be just sitting in one spot and probably be...
For a long time.
Yeah, and it'll probably be pretty relaxing. Okay, and so we have the word creativity. So creativity just means, well, using your mind to create things or to, make new things.
Right.
Yeah, and so we will say to be creative.
Right. Yeah, that's a very good word. Creative is the adjective form for creativity. And of course, the verb form, create something, right? Creativity.
Right. So, so to express their creativity. Continuing with the help of social media, the popularity of tufted rugs soared. Okay, so now we have another word, soared here. To soar means it's like flying, right? It's like going up and being high up in the air.
Right.
So we said that interest shot up.
Right. It's before. Synonym, right?
A synonym for that. Yeah. So the popularity of it soared. And we always see that nowadays with social media. That is how things become popular.
Right. Overly popular sometimes.
Yeah, like way too popular sometimes.
Right.
But that is the great thing about social media, and especially during a time like COVID-19 when you can't actually interact face-to-face with people.
That's a pretty good outlet.
Yeah, so you have social media and you see what other people are doing and you get some ideas and, tufted rugs. Who knew?
Right.
Okay, so numerous tufted rug making videos were posted on social media, and they have received millions of views.
So numerous here means just many, right? It's a synonym, many. And so that means if it's a synonym of many, that means it can only be used with countable nouns, right? You cannot use it with uncountable nouns. I guess for a lot of words like a number of or numerous, they have the root word root, number. So when you say number, that means you can count it, right? So you only use it with countable nouns. And because it's many, so when you use the countable noun, you have to make it into the plural form of it.
Right, yeah. You can't say I have numerous milk. Right, yeah. You could say I have numerous bottles of milk. Right. But you can't. Yeah, it has to be with a countable noun.
Right.
Okay. So we see that there is rug making videos posted on social media. So to post something on social media means to put it on or upload it or kind of like live stream it to social media.
And we also see they received millions of viewers. So here, millions, we're adding an S at the end of million. So when do we do that, Shane? Like million. Usually, can we say like $10 million?
No. When we say millions, it's meaning that there are more than a million. Or actually more than 1 million. So it could be, 2 million, 3 million. Then we'll say that there are millions of something.
Right. We only add an S to million, or it also happens to like thousands or tens of thousands, right? You have the off after millions, so you use millions off. This is the only occasion where we put an S at the end of million, right? So be careful with that. It's going to be in your test. I'm not sure, but if I were a teacher, I am a teacher, I will put it on the test. Be careful.
Yeah. You can't say $3 million or $3 million.
You say $3 million, right? Because Yeah, you don't have the off in between
or
$1,000,000.
3 million views. You wouldn't say 3 millions views.
Oh, right. So if we get rid of that off, we won't be saying millions. Without that off, we would say million views.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Okay, continuing, some people even managed to turn this hobby into small businesses.
Oh, that sounds so cool.
Well, a lot of people lost their work
that's
during
true.
COVID-19, and people needed a way to, make money again. And even still till now, people have taken their interests and their hobbies and turned them into businesses, because you can do that right over the internet, right?
Oh, yeah. So I guess this hobby, it's good because it goes over from a hobby to something that is actually helping people to improve their lives, I guess. Yeah.
And when we say people even managed to, so to manage to do something just means to be able to, or, or successful at doing something.
Right.
Yeah. So they managed to turn this hobby into small businesses.
That's good.
Yeah. Okay, why don't we take a little break and we'll come back in a moment. Okay, so finally, tufted rugs are also excellent alternatives to traditional rugs.
Oh, alternative. Another big word here.
Yeah, it's a really long word, right? So an alternative, why don't you tell it? What does it mean, an alternative?
Usually it's a plan B, if this one doesn't work, and the other option that you have. So for example, alternative to driving a car might be taking public transportation.
Right.
Alternative, another option, right? Plan B.
Right, exactly. Another way to do something. Okay. And we're saying to traditional rugs. So here we just mean, just the traditional here, just meaning the rugs that you see normally and the rugs that have been, around for a long time.
Right.
Just kind of like a common rug.
In Taiwan, the most common rug, what do you think that would be?
Most common rug?
Before you enter each store, it has a welcome.
Oh, sure.
A welcome rug.
Like a welcome, we sometimes call this a welcome mats.
Ah, that's a mat.
So what's the difference between a mat and a rug?
Oh, in terms of what's their difference?
Yeah, I think a mat typically is not soft. It's not meant really for comfort so much that it's meant for, especially in front of a business or a home, for wiping one's feet and to kind of get dirt or something off. Especially in a business, you don't take your shoes off when you go into some place. So if your feet are dirty, you kind of wipe it off, but it's hard and it's almost designed to get dirt and debris off of shoes.
Oh, right.
And if it were indoors, we most likely wouldn't call it a mat.
Yeah. And you can see because the mat, the material, it feels a little bit like plastic. I'm not sure what it is.
Plastic or rubber.
Yeah. So it's definitely not comfortable to stand on those things, right? So they are mats and rugs are softer.
Exactly. I think that. And we typically are going to see a rug indoors being used, like you said, for comfort and decoration. Mats are a bit more, for their function. And they're not necessarily very beautiful or, they can be cute.
Tufted rugs are pretty cute, right? But traditionally, probably not so much.
Right, exactly. Okay, so continuing here. Many are of high quality and they are more affordable than hand-woven rugs.
Oh, right. So here, let's first take a look at of high quality. Sometimes we have the preposition of, and after that, we add a noun. Usually, of plus noun it turns that noun into an adjective. So we can say a man of wealth. That means a wealthy man, right? It's a fancy way of saying things. Just be careful. Of high quality means having really good quality. The quality is good, right?
Right. And affordable, if something is affordable, that means that you can afford it. And to afford, that just means you're able to pay for it. You have enough money for it. It's not too expensive. So I would say the opposite would be expensive.
Right.
Affordable versus expensive. Right. Continuing. The only drawback is that they usually don't last for a long time.
Yeah, I get so. If they're designed for comfort and you handmade it, probably you have to replace it once in a while.
Well, yeah, like I guess when they're saying like hand woven rugs as opposed to these tufted rugs, I think maybe the hand woven rugs will probably be a lot tighter. Kind of like the way that they do like the loops and the way that they stitch them together. I think it's, it can be used for a longer amount of time. They're designed to last.
Here last just means go on, go on.
Right.
To exist. Yeah.
Right. So they don't last for a long time. So that's the only drawback. So a drawback is just meaning that that's just something.
A downside of it?
You could say a downside. We can talk about pros and cons. So a pro means something positive or good about something, whereas a con means something negative or bad about it. So here you could say one con is that they usually don't last for a long time. One bad thing about them or, right. Okay, continuing. If you don't mind replacing them every few years, a tufted rug is a great way to add some style to your home.
Right. Here, if you don't mind doing something, that means you don't feel bothered doing something. We have a gerund, that means verb in ing form after mind. Yeah, if you don't mind. Okay.
And you could say care there too, I don't care if my tufted rug only lasts a few years because it was cheap and it was really cool. And you could keep changing them out.
Right, have different patterns.
Have different patterns and styles. I don't know how environmentally friendly that is.
Oh, that's true.
But it's probably still, it depends on how you use them and maybe how you make them.
Right.
Right. So there are many that are of high quality. That's what's said here in the article. So, okay, well, that is a lot of information on tufted rugs.
Yeah, new idea.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And, if you're looking for a hobby, I guess you just jump on YouTube and I bet you could learn how to make a tufted rug in no time.
That's probably too quick. But yeah, we could give it a shot, definitely.
Right, sure, why not? Okay, well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for joining us, everybody. And we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.